Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. B, your Cajun Connection, coming to you from Agard, Louisiana. We're at the entrance to the Evergreen Plantation, and you can see there's a canopy of oak trees down this private road. Now we're going to go a little further and see exactly if we can get there. No trespassing. Let's just go and see if there's a official entrance somewhere. This red soil is a little uncharacteristic here that you see that I'm driving on, or I'm turning around on, because the rich Black Delta Louisiana mud is more what you see like that which is across the street. I'm not sure, probably had this dirt hauled in just to build it up for some reason, probably some free dirt. We're headed toward Evergreen Plantation. Now it's probably closed because of tree damage and roof damage and so forth. So here we are on Old Highway 18, the old river road where most of the Louisiana antebellum plantations were located because of these massive cane fields and the proximity to the river, where you could process the cane and then ship it off upriver. We're coming up on the plantation itself, and you can see those cars pulling in there, probably to take photos and such. It's a beautiful photo op situation, and it's difficult because there's no place really to park, and so most people have to take turns pulling into these little offshoots here and walking, and that's what we're gonna do. It's closed. Thought I would be able to get in and take a look around. Evergreen Plantation in Agard, Louisiana. National landmark. 37 buildings, and it would be nice to be able to get in there and take a look around. But as you can see, no trespassing and locked tight. 24-hour video surveillance, but we could still get a sense of it from the road. And you can also see the house is still boarded since the storm. Look at that canopy of oak trees. Doesn't look like a whole lot of damage has ensued. And look at this grass, as green as ever here 2 days before New Year's 2022. I mean, we're in the beginning of winter, and the grass is as green as it would be if it were the beginning of spring. We're gonna walk down here a little bit. Now you can't see it from here. It doesn't look like a levee, but right across the street here is a levee system. Now we are pretty high on this side of the road and almost on a par with the levee. But as you go down the river, probably another couple of miles, you'll see it looks much higher. But that is the Mississippi River right across the highway here from us. The Spanish moss hanging from these trees is just unbelievable. Look at that. Look like the beards of old men, doesn't it? Hanging in the, blowing in the breeze. Beautiful. This is a bygone era. A lot of these properties were developed, slavery was in full blossom, somewhere between 1803 and 1860. the time that Louisiana became a state and the time right before the Civil War. Hence the word antebellum, before the war. Just enjoy this scene here. And it's massive, and I do mean massive, oak tree. So I head back toward the car. It's a shame, actually, that so many of these properties are in this state of disrepair. And since I-10, which runs north of this highway here, Highway 18, I-10 runs north. Since I-10 was developed, which has been a long time now, this road doesn't see a whole lot of traffic. Most people just, and they route from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, they take I-10. This used to be a very well-used thoroughfare, but it no longer is. And that, my friends, is why this little settlement from Agard and Kelowna and Vacherie, all of these little river towns are just dying. The only people here are the older people who retired and just living in the peace and tranquility of this old river settlement. These oak trees are just so majestic. Okay, so we are going to leave the Evergreen Plantation because, as I said, it's closed. Probably since the storm. Although people do try to, as you see here, you have a van pulled over with its warning lights on, and people probably just pass by to take shots of it from the gate. Yeah, they're trying to get some photo shots because, you know, folks come from all over the world to drive on this highway for the most part. I mean, there's traffic here, but not nearly what it used to be years and years ago. And it's one of those niche, iconic spots where the buildings here predate the Civil War, and as such, you're just not gonna find this anywhere else. And so people who have a niche interest in these kinds of buildings and structures and properties, they will travel many miles to come and document these, take pictures of them, and just see the current state of their condition. And so that's why I try to, as not living too far away from here, I try to keep documented myself. Now, we just passed the Evergreen Plantation, but we're headed toward the Laura and the Whitney plantations. All of those have a very storied history. We're not going to stop in either of those today. We'll come back and see how things are going post Ida. So here's Laura Plantation, and it seems to in fact be open. It is open. And so what we're going to do is we are going to come back, plan a proper visit, and come back and see if we could spend some time here. You can see the license plates, cars from all over the country. People either love this or they hate it. There's really no middle ground. This plantation has a very Caribbean flavor.